Today I want to show you some numbers from an auction I just attended that will give you an idea of what type of profit is available when we go to auctions. This particular auction was for a tax deed. Redeemable tax deed. It's got a 1-year redemption on it. Now to start out with, I want to show you some numbers that are typical in some other states. So in this column I have the value of the property. So in this case it's $160,000. Hypothetically, a winning bid of 115. That equals 72% of the value. So the winning bid was 72% of the value of the property. This could be tax assessor, or it could be one of many online valuation websites for real estate. But in this case, we're going to use the tax assessor's value because in this particular state and county, it's pretty accurate. So in this case, in this example, we've got 72% of the value for the high bid was 72% of the value of the property value. So let's assume that we mark it down a year from now. Again, this is 1-year redemption state. We mark it down a little bit to get it sold quickly. We sell it for 150. Net profit, and I'm removing $4,000 expenses. That's for a quiet title lawsuit and property taxes. It does not include other expenses. For simplification, we're just going to use these numbers for now. So after 4,000 expenses, let's say a net profit of 31,000. After a year, the return on investment should be around 27%, and that's before we split those. So that's a pretty good return, especially in the recent history. This is being recorded in March of 2020. Stock market's been a little bit unstable lately. You certainly could lose money in the stock market. Great thing about real estate is we haven't lost money yet. It'd be very hard to lose money, not impossible. But in this example of other states, this is kind of what you're looking at. Now let's take a look at the numbers of an auction I did attend recently. These are actual numbers. So to start out here, you've got a property. The value of the property was $255,000. The winning bid for that property was $95,000. It was a 4-side brick, very nice home near a lake. It did have what maybe were some tenants in there recently, so the property needed some cleaning up. A lot of clothes and things left behind need to be thrown away. But I've got in the notes it's about 90% ready to be rented. So there's still some work to be done, very little. Like I said, mostly cleaning it out, maybe painting it, and be ready to rent if we were going to do that. None of these numbers take into account any type of rental income. This is just to give you an idea of the condition of the property as we saw it. So let's start over again. It's $255,000. It was purchased for $95,000 at the auction. That represents 37% of the value of the property. That's what it took to buy the property. If we mark it down in the future and we sell it for $240,000, we realize a net profit, again subtracting about $4,000 in expenses, of $141. That's a return on investment of 148% before we split. That's phenomenal. That is a real value. All these are real properties that we witnessed. This wasn't all of them. This is just a sampling of the properties that we saw, and we noted what they were bidding for. Almost in every case, except for, looks like maybe this one. Actually, that's an example. Pretty much every property we saw went for around 47% or less of the actual value. So here's one right here. This one went for 45%. It's worth 62. It sold for 28. High bid was 28,000. Winning bid was 45%. If we were to mark that down to 55,000 a year from now and sell it, we'd make 23,000. Even then, we're looking at 82% return on investment. That house is about 98% rent ready. It's probably occupied from what we could tell. So the house is pretty much ready to be rented. Maybe just a little bit of cleanup if we were to go that route. Again, this is just to give you an idea of the condition of these properties. All these properties were in really good shape that we would have bid on. You can see one of the properties here. This was just a lot, a big long empty lot next to a road. Had a house on it before. It's almost 3 acres. We actually bought this property. We paid $900 for it. The tax assessed value is $43,000. It did have a remain of a house on there that just kind of deteriorated over time, a really, really old farmhouse and a barn. So we bought it for 2% of the value. If we do nothing to this property and a year from now we just simply sell it, because you could easily put 3 mobile homes on it and rent it. If we just sell it for $20,000, we're gonna make 1,600%. Now that's pretty realistic in that area. It's 3 acres, a really nice area. It's a rural area. A lot of mobile homes or manufactured homes, double wides, that type of thing. Could easily put 3 on there and make this a very profitable property. If we just sold it for what it's worth, or if we sold it for $20,000, which is less than $10,000 an acre, we'd make 1,600%. That's incredible. Let's see. Let's take a look at one of these others. This one's 98% rent ready, again, because it's occupied. It was a nice home. People are living in it right now. The value of the property was $101,000. It sold for $32,000. It sold for 32% of the value of the home. If we marked it down again and sold it at the end of the year for $90,000, we make 168% profit. That's incredible. I don't know where else you're going to get that. There's more auctions coming up soon. They'll be held throughout the year. This one is usually held in September. It was early this year because they didn't have one last year. So I expect there'll be one again this September, if not sometime next year. But again, like I said, there'll be other auctions, other counties in this state. I've checked. They are all about the same as far as what to expect with the percent of value. What made this county really, really attractive to me is I called and verified twice with the county officials. They told me to expect that 10%, only 10% of properties sold at this auction will redeem. That is fantastic. That means the majority of these properties will not redeem. A year from now, you'll get the property with no more redemption. The redemption automatically runs out a year after the auction. You'll be able to get these properties and sell them, make great profit, or if you want to keep them and rent them. Our intention with the properties that we purchased is to simply sell them the way they are. A year from now, sell them to somebody at a discount, let them fix and flip them if they want to, or even live in them. So this is the type of opportunity that we find. We look throughout several states in the United States for deals like this that fit these type of criteria. What was a little bit frustrating for us at this auction, where there were so many good deals, and we simply didn't have enough funds to buy all the homes that we wanted to. There were a lot of really good deals, a lot of potential profit to be made here. We need more funds. So that's the purpose of creating this video. This to show you actual numbers from a recent sale we attended. These are all very viable homes. You can see by the condition. These are great deals out there. We need more funds. We need more investors. We can make you a lot of money. Certainly better than the stock market, because the worst case in any of these is if they redeem, you make 1% per month on the high bid. So you won't lose money. You won't make as much if they redeem. And again, in this county, they predict about 10% will redeem. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to talk to me further about this and investing with us in the future, my email address, my direct email is danny@roaminginvestors.com. My cell phone, 678-778-9528. Give me a call and let's discuss how we can make you some money this upcoming year. Thanks.